What's up, guys? Sonofaboomer here. Today we are talking about the Colt Commando revolver. Let's get to it.
I don't think you made it.
Throughout Colt's history, there have been several guns that have been called the Commando. So if you haven't been able to tell from the thumbnail, from the intro, or from the gun sitting right in front of me, we are talking today about the Colt Commando revolver. The Colt Commando revolver is a World War II era revolver that was issued to some military members during World War II. After the bombing of Pearl Harbor, we started seeing a ramp up, obviously, an increase in military personnel, and with that came the necessity of guns.
Lots of guns.
Most GIs and other personnel were issued the Colt 1911. However, there was a good chunk of security and other personnel that were issued revolvers. Most of these were Smith & Wesson, but there was the Colt Commando that was also issued as basically a way to supplement the production of Smith & Wesson revolvers at the time. These security positions were things like POW camp security, merchant security, factory security. Some were issued to airmen, and there was a chunk of them that were issued to Navy members because at the time, from my understanding, Smith & Wesson had an issue in one of their factories. They weren't able to keep up with production, and so they supplemented with the Colt Commando. The Colt Commando was actually based off of the Colt Official Police at the time, but there were some changes made to it to keep it cheaper and make it quicker for the military, which is kind of funny because it sounds like, my understanding, Colt actually would just increase the shipping cost and would make up any extra money that the military was saving.
Congratulations, Mr. Krabs.
Hello, I like money.
Some of the changes between the Colt Commando and the Colt Official Police were the grips. The grips on the Commando are actually plastic, whereas the Official Police had wooden ones. The checkering is not present on the trigger. This was to reduce machine hours. I think there's a few other parts on this that they didn't machine it as finely as they would on the Official Police. And the other main difference was the Parkerized finish. Now you can see on this particular gun, let's get into this specific one, it does not have a Parkerized finish anymore. And whoever owned it prior to the current owner had taken it and polished it all up, so now it's stainless steel. If you were to go back 10, 20, 30 years even, you'd see a lot of Milsurps that people would take and they'd alter them. Often in the gun industry, this is called Bubba-ing. There's a big push to keep these military surplus guns as they were, as close as you can to the original configuration. My personal opinion kind of varies depending on the gun and the rarity of it. But one thing I will say is if you have a gun that's in good working order and it's in its original configuration, I would just leave it. You're gonna maintain the resale value of it. You're maintaining a piece of history. I just don't see a good reason for taking a historical firearm that has historical significance if it's in good working order and in good shape and altering it personally. But the wonderful thing about the gun community is that everyone's got their own opinion and you can do what you want with your gun. Anyways, getting back to this particular one, you'll notice, as I said, it's got the stainless steel finish, which I think is really cool looking. It gives it kind of that police or detective kind of look. Makes it look real classy.
You stay classy, San Diego.
Now the hammer on this particular one is starting to wobble a little bit and come loose, but it has been working currently as is very well, which is really nice. Shooting double action with this is very smooth and the trigger is really crisp on single action, which I really like. All in all, you've got the swing out cylinder, put your 38s in there, and it's just all around a very solid and robust gun. You can definitely see that although they were trying to make it cheaper, they were not trying to make it less effective and less dependable. This particular one has a 4-inch barrel, but there were 2-inch versions that were made. There's talk that maybe there was some 6-inch versions, but I haven't been able to find very much information on that. Now, in terms of rarity, I would say that these are, decently rare for World War II. There are only about 50,000 of these made, so really cool to have this. This is one of the more rare guns that I've held in my lifetime. All in all, if anyone can find one of these or comes across them, I think they're a very cool addition to anyone's Milsurp collection. They shoot straight, they're robust, they look really cool, and they're just a great gun. 38 Special is also readily available still, so I really like that. It's not an oddball caliber that's difficult to find. I mean, you can go to any big box store and find 38 Special, so very cool, very neat gun. Although this sidearm didn't get a whole lot of glory like its counterparts of World War II, it was here at home, keeping us safe on the home front. And I think that cements it as a very cool piece of history. So if you like this kind of content and you like learning about firearms just as much as I do, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. Make sure you comment on videos that you'd like to see in the future, and I will see you next time. God bless you. I don't know if you guys can see it on the camera, but it's pretty cold. It's freezing. It's 32 degrees. But I'm blowing not smoke, but condensation out my mouth, and it's please subscribe.